Hi everybody. So, I don't want you to get me wrong, so I want to say right off from the bat that I love the community here. I love the comments, I love reading through them, and I think people have some great ideas and some great suggestions, and there's just some great sharing that goes on in those comments. So if you're not reading them, boy are you missing out. However, there is a few people I would like to encourage to engage their brains a little bit more before they post. Now, it's stunningly easy to point out a problem, to say, oh, hey, but this might happen. And I appreciate it, but it's even better if you point out a solution. Or before you post, you engage your brain a little bit to think, is it really a problem? So, for example, with this thing we've been working, a few people have said, yeah, but if it's too heavy for the magnet, it'll just crash into it and that'll be the end of that because it'll just crush down. Really? I mean, if it's too heavy for the pull of the magnet, use a stronger magnet. I mean, that is an example of a problem that is not a problem. Now, there's another one that people keep mentioning that actually might be a problem. They say, okay, let's say it's spinning and the wind is forcing it down. As it forces it down, of course, the magnet's like a spring, and so it would force down and it would lock. And you think, okay, what about if you just put a little spacer on? It's right there, a little plastic spacer. This spacer is a few microns bigger than that little lump there, which is where the coil goes. So if it were to be forced down, it could not be forced down further than that spacer. There you go. So if you're forcing down to the spacer hits the inner race of the ball bearing, so it'll continue to turn, and it won't crash in because there's a little spacer there. I mean, that's not much of a solution, is it? To not much of a problem. And they also say things, okay, what about if the wind is so high it gets lift and you lift it off and it comes shooting off? Well, really? Put a circlip right there, a bit more than here, like a millimetre or two. So if there is any lift, it's going to hit the circlip's going to hit the inner race of the bearing, which is this bit here, and it's going to continue to turn, and it will be impossible for it to fly off because it's being held on by a clip that is dug into that axle. Very easy to do. Again, a stupidly simple solution to something that's not likely to be a problem anyway, but if it were to be a problem, there's a really easy solution, two really easy solutions. And if the people who are thinking that had just engaged their brains a little bit more and thought it through, then they would have been able to see those. Now, I don't mind a potential problem. If they'd posted, hey, this is a problem, but you could do this, that is a superb post. I mean, it's brilliant. It's a post worthy of worship because it presents a solution to something that might be a problem. Actually, it wouldn't be much of a problem, but the thing might bounce up and down within a millimetre space. Of course, if the wind is so high, any loss in generation you're just not going to see anyway, and you're going to have far more worries if the wind's that high than whether you can turn the lights on or not. It's quite likely that roof off your house has been torn off. But if that worries you and is a problem to you, then just go that extra step and have a think about what that solution might be. And when you propose the solution, of course, you're doing something very different indeed. But proposing solutions is a bit more scary because what about if that solution isn't a good solution and people criticise you? Heaven forbid. And so it's difficult to propose solutions to our problems. And problems do tend to be easy to see whether they're real or not. So as I say, there are just a few folks I would like to encourage a bit more to think something through before they post it. And if they're posting something, have a think, is there a solution that they can see that might be an answer to the problem that they're actually seeing? And then share that with everybody else, because maybe somebody else also sees that as a potential problem, doesn't know what the solution might be, and is sitting quietly, because of course far more people watch the videos than post. Far more people read the comments than post. So doing that will raise that comment above the mire. It'll make it a comment that actually has value. Now, this isn't something that everybody does. Like I say, I don't want you to get, taken up with there are comments that are just poor comments and then I'm criticising people. I'm not. the bulk of comments and the bulk of people who watch this channel are very bright and very clever people, and a lot of people will share that, and there are some people who are just outstanding in what they share. But there are a few people who really should just engage their brains a little bit more maybe before they post, and I really just want to encourage you to do that, because that is just so much more help to the community. Anyway, I thought I'd take this time just to point that out, because with the turbine stuff that we've been doing, particularly on this maglev for some reason, it's been a little bit more prevalent, and I thought I'd just try to take the time to encourage people to engage a little bit more with that old grey matter. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do like and subscribe. And if you feel this video is you, it's not. It's a general video to try to help to improve the quality of the community we've got, because we have an awesome community, and let's keep it awesome. Thank you very much, guys.